Welcome, dear dreamer. As you settle beneath your blanket, allow your body to soften with every breath. Inhale deeply through your nose and exhale slowly through your lips. Feel the calm rise within you, like a gentle tide washing over the shore of your mind. The world outside can rest for a while. This is your time to drift, to dream, and to wander softly into a story woven from peace and starlight. The Lantern Sanctuary of Lyria. The evening breeze drifted gently across the bay of Lyria, carrying with it the scent of warm, salt, crushed lavender, and something else you couldn't quite place. A sweetness, almost like honey warmed by the sun. You stood at the edge of a quiet stone pier, gazing across the water as twilight descended in soft layers. The sea shimmered like a sheet of molten glass, tinted lilac by the fading light. Behind you, the settlement of Anthera rested peacefully against the hills. Its whitewashed houses glowed peach pink in the soft dusk, their windows flickering with candlelight like sleepy fireflies preparing for the night. Anthera was a humble little harbor, but tonight it felt like the calm center of the world. You had arrived here only an hour before, stepping off a small boat guided by a fisherman whose name you never caught. He had simply smiled, nodded, and pointed you toward the long winding path that led up the cliffs, the same path you are preparing to take now. At the path's entrance stood a single lantern carved into the shape of an open flower. Its gentle amber glow illuminated the first few steps of the trail. A small plaque beneath it read, "To the sanctuary above, walk slowly, breathe deeply." You smiled at the simplicity of the message. Then, taking a deep breath, you began your calm ascent. The pathway was made of smooth, pale limestone, each step polished by centuries of travelers. As you walked, the stones made a soft tapping sound beneath your sandals, almost musical in tone. Along the edges of the trail, clusters of silver-leaf plants swayed gracefully, their narrow petals rustling like sighs. Above you, the sky deepened from twilight to early night, sprinkled with the faint beginnings of stars. Every few minutes, the path would turn, revealing a different part of the coastline below. The water glowed faintly, illuminated by floating lanterns released earlier by the villagers. They drifted like little boats of light, bobbing quietly in the small waves. As you climbed higher, the air grew cooler and carried the smell of wild herbs, thyme, sage, and a lemon-scented blossom unique to this region called Lyrixa. Its aroma wrapped around you like a comforting shawl. After some time, you noticed the sound of your footsteps was not the only rhythm on the trail. There was another sound, faint at first, like a soft humming. When you paused to listen, you realized the hum came from the stones themselves. Each time the breeze passed over them, they vibrated ever so slightly, producing a gentle lullaby-like tone. The place felt ancient, sacred, alive. You continued on, letting the rhythmic tones guide your pace, letting your breath fall in sync with them. The path curved one final time, and as it did, you caught the first glimpse of your destination. The Lantern Sanctuary. Perched at the peak of the cliff like a dream made solid, the sanctuary shimmered under the rising moon. It was larger than you imagined, a round, open-air structure held aloft by pillars carved into the shapes of spiraling vines. Hundreds of lanterns floated around it, suspended by invisible threads of magic or clever engineering you could not decipher. Their soft golden glow made the entire shrine appear as though it floated above the earth. The sanctuary was built of pale stone, streaked with veins of turquoise, as though the ocean had seeped into the rock. At its center stood a circular pool, reflecting the lanterns like a second sky. The moment you stepped inside, a profound peace washed over you. No words could have prepared you for the feeling. It wasn't simply calm. It was something deeper, as if the sanctuary itself acknowledged your presence, welcomed you, and gently encouraged you to leave the burdens of the world behind. A lone figure sat by the pool, an elderly woman dressed in robes the color of faded starlight. She did not look up immediately, but when she did, her eyes were warm and steady, eyes that held the stories of centuries. "Welcome, traveler," she said softly. "You've come far. Sit with me." Her voice was soothing, almost melodic. You felt no hesitation. You sat beside her on a cushioned stone bench, watching the lanterns drift in slow circles above the water. "I am called Lyria, keeper of this sanctuary," she said. "Tonight is special. Tonight is the night of memory." Her words carried weight, though she spoke them as gently as one might speak to a child preparing for sleep. "Every year," Lyria continued, "the sanctuary honors all who came before, not with noise or ritual, but with stillness, with light." She gestured toward the floating lanterns. Each lantern represents a moment in someone's life, a memory they chose to release, to let drift peacefully into the night. A warm breeze rippled across the sanctuary, carrying the faintest chime from the lanterns above. "You may release a memory if you wish," Lyria offered. You hesitated. "Do I have to choose something painful?" Lyria smiled. "No, you may release anything. A joyful moment, a quiet thought, a dream you once held. Whatever your heart wishes to set gently upon the water." The idea was soothing. You closed your eyes for a moment, letting your thoughts drift freely like clouds. A memory surfaced, simple, peaceful, warm. A childhood morning eating breakfast with someone you loved dearly. Sunlight streaming through the window, laughter filling the kitchen. The memory glowed softly in your mind. Lyria extended her hand, and from it a lantern materialized. It was small, spherical, made of thin pearl-colored paper stretched over delicate whalebone spokes. The light inside flickered like a real flame, but emitted no heat. "Place your memory inside," Lyria whispered. You gently rested your fingers on the lantern. The memory flowed from your chest into the light, which brightened for a moment, then stabilized into a warm golden glow. Now let it drift. You released the lantern onto the pool's surface. It floated effortlessly, joining the slow dance of the others. You exhaled, feeling lighter than you had in years. Lyria remained beside you, her eyes reflecting the lanterns. "This place was not always a sanctuary," she said. "Long ago, it was the workshop of a gifted artisan named Lyria, the one who first learned to sculpt light." You turned slightly toward her. "He discovered," she continued, that memories hold their own kind of illumination, that if treated gently, they glow. He spent decades learning the craft, creating lanterns that could hold thoughts as tenderly as cupped hands. You pictured a younger Lyria, surrounded by tools, carving delicate patterns into thin sheets of luminous stone, crafting lanterns that shimmered like enchanted seashells. But Lyria was not the only guardian of the shrine, Lyria added. His partner, Aramis, shaped the sanctuary itself, built it stone by stone. One crafted light. The other crafted the place where that light could rest. Her smile softened. Their devotion made this sanctuary what it is today. A quiet pause filled the air. Then she added, when they grew old, they placed their final memories in 2 lanterns and let them drift together across the pool. The next morning, their lanterns were gone, and so were they. Some say they became light themselves. You found the story deeply calming, a celebration of love, creation, and peaceful endings. After a while, Lyria rose rhythmically, like a leaf lifted by a breeze. There is more to see if you wish, she said. You followed her out of the central chamber and into the sanctuary's outer terrace. Here, the view of the coastline opened like a grand painting. The sea was now dark blue, almost violet, with lantern reflections shimmering like stars scattered across the surface. Anthra's distant lights twinkled from below, tiny, warm, reassuring. The breeze carried a gentle hum, not from the stones this time, but from hundreds of tiny chime flowers planted along the terrace. When the wind touched them, they emitted soft notes, creating a melody as natural as birdsong. Lyria guided you to a stone balustrade where 3 small domes rose from the sanctuary floor. She gestured to them. Inside each dome is a resting space for travelers, she said. People come from all corners of the coast to sleep beneath the sanctuary's lanterns. Some stay only one night. Others stay for weeks. One dome caught your eye. The entrance curtain fluttered, revealing soft bedding inside, cushions embroidered with scenes of swirling constellations, blankets dyed in ocean blue hues. It is yours for tonight, Lyria said. You felt a wave of gratitude, warm and slow. But before entering, you looked once more at the sanctuary. A question stirred in your heart. Why does the sanctuary feel so alive? Lyria nodded knowingly. Because memories are alive, and this sanctuary breathes them in. It is made of stories, hopes, dreams, love. Light remembers everything. Her explanation was as poetic as it was comforting. You stepped inside the dome. The moment you lay down on the soft cushions, your body melted into them. The air inside smelled faintly of lyrics blossoms and cool stone. Above you, the ceiling was open, a circular skylight framed by carved vines. Through it, lanterns drifted slowly overhead like glowing moons. You listened to the soft chorus of chime flowers outside, blending with the gentle lapping of waves below the cliff. Your thoughts grew lighter, slower, soft as drifting dust motes. After a while, Lyria's voice reached you faintly from outside the dome, a final blessing for the night. Sleep peacefully, traveler. Your light is safe here. Her footsteps faded. You inhaled deeply, your chest rising and falling in a rhythm that matched the sanctuary's quiet breathing. Lanterns glided overhead, each carrying the memory of someone who once stood where you did. You felt connected to the sanctuary, to the past, to the countless travelers whose stories had passed through these lanterns like threads in an endless tapestry. A warm lantern drifted directly above your skylight. Its glow dimmed, then brightened, then steadied. Your eyelids grew heavy. Your muscles relaxed. Your breath settled into soft, peaceful waves. The sanctuary hummed faintly around you, vibrating with ancient kindness. And as you drifted gently towards sleep, you felt weightless, as though you were floating with the lanterns, carried by moonlit currents across an endless, tranquil sea. Tonight, you rest in the sanctuary of Lyria, a place where memories float, time softens, and light keeps watch. A place where every breath leads you deeper into peace.